A very good morning to you, Wahiga Mwaura, and indeed, this is the particular road where you saw the clips going viral on social media, where police, county askaris and hawkers really exchanged, and they were really struggling to ensure that they remove all hawkers from this street. Mwaura, the truth of the matter is that the hawkers have not gone anywhere. They are still here, they are still doing their business here as usual, and the county government has come out saying that they have built, or they build a multi-million market for these hawkers. But the hawkers have come out saying that the market, cannot even hold all of them on that same market, but also it's given to some particular individuals, and it's already full. Uasin Gishu hawkers in Uasin Gishu, specifically in Eldoret town, there are over 5,000 hawkers, and for now the market can only hold, as they say, as the county government say, it can only hold 350 people in the same market. But something funny, Wahiga, the same new market that was built, the funny thing is that there's no one on that market doing business there. It's left vacant, no one is doing anything on that particular market, but they are really all here trying to ensure that they sell their produce, farm produce here. And you know, Mwaura, this is a very prime place. Everyone is fumbling to come to this particular road. It's a road, actually, Mwaura, it's not a market, it's a road. If I can talk to Mr. John, if I can talk to one of the hawkers who was there, Mwaura, to give us what do they think about this. Mbona hamujatoka kwenye barabara hii kuenda kuuzia mahali ambapo county isema muende muuze?
Kwa sababu hii barabara hii tunasema tutoka, lakini mahali soko imejengwa ni huko chini, ambapo hizo tangu ijengwe hii soko matajiri wameshaingia ndani ya hii soko. Sasa hii hata wanaona kisema watoke hapa hivi, fungueni hapa hivi kidogo tu hivi. Sasa kama sasa hii hapa hivi ndio unaangalia hivi, sasa hivi hii tunatandika, hii ndio masa yetu ya kutandika, ambapo akisema hizo soko teremke huko chini, tunatoka kwa barabara unaenda kwa barabara. Je, tungesema hivi Mandago angekaa chini na sisi, si hataki vita. Hii vita ni juzi ilikuwa imetuchomea hapa picha mbaya sana, tuharibia sisi wengine, mpaka hata wengine wajapeleka watoto shule. Tunaomba Mandago akuje chini, tukae na yeye chini. Sisi waadui yake au sisi wauaji wake, tuwezi uwa yeye. Sisi akuje tu tukae na yeye chini, tumwambie ora mnatakaje, atupe mahali pazuri naweza uhusia, si hajakataa kutoka barabara. Kama ni hiyo soko ya chini, hiyo soko ya chini matajiri wameshajaa ndani. Matajiri wameshajaa ndani ya hiyo soko. Sasa hivi nakwambia hivi, sasa nikutangaza hata Kenya ikisikika sasa hivi, hao watu wakisikia. Sasa hii soko imejaa. Sasa tunaenda wapi? Mandago angekuja hizo masto inyesiko hapo ndani ya jengo soko ya chini hiyo, watupe hizo masto. Sisi wanaora, tuachane kusumbua na Mandago. Na hii vita ya ora hii itaisha. Meya alikuwako, hii vita ilikuwa, tukapigana meya mpaka tukapigana. Haya, Mandago ndio huyu tena amekuja, bado hii vita iko hii soko.
Na pengine kuna kitu ambacho kinasemekana kwamba nyinyi wale ambao mnafanya kazi ya hawkers mnauza bangi na pombe.
Haya, sasa tunauza bangi namna gani? Customer nyama wao usio bangi, akuja sasa tumuuzie hiyo bangi, anachukua kila siku kwa hii maembe au kwa hii viazi. Bangi ikuje, kama ni hii nyanya, ndio hii nyanya hapa hivi. Hii nyanya itolewe bangi nyeko hapa ndani. Haya, viazi ndio hii hapa, itolewe bangi ndani. Kama hii customer anakuja kila siku kununua hiyo bangi, customer wako hapa watasema wenyewe.
Wahiga, those some of the comments from furious hawkers on this particular market, and they are saying that they need to be given their place where they should go and do their business. But as you can understand, Wahiga, the number is a big number of hawkers in Uasin Gishu County, and on this particular road. And the same thing, why the county is maybe trying to remove them from this road is maybe just because to ensure that traffic moves smoothly and swiftly, to ensure that movement of goods in and outside this main market in Eldoret town just goes on swiftly and smoothly, to ensure that everyone is benefiting from the same market. Wahiga is a game of wait and see, to see what will be the governor doing to ensure that he gives these people, or he finds a lasting solution for these hawkers from Eldoret town. Wahiga.
Well, John, just a quick question before I let you go. I know you will try and get us the Deputy Governor a bit later on in this broadcast to get a response. But so far, what response has there been from the county government, from the area MCA, from the area MP? What are they saying in response to what happened on Friday and the issues on that road?
Wahiga, according to the county government, they are saying that during that particular day when they came here, they were coming to smoke out those people. They are saying they were doing illegal business. Thus, they are saying those hawkers who are selling fruits here, especially mangoes and oranges, they are just painting the picture that they are selling mangoes and oranges, but in real sense, they are selling bank and alcohol, illegal alcohol that they are repackaging down here at River Sosiani. So they are saying they were coming out for an operation to ensure that they smoke out those people so that they can leave those who are doing legal business to continue with their business, those who are doing illegal business to be smoked out of the society so that they can be taken to court. And so far, 50 people were arrested from this market, and some of them were taken to court. And yesterday, as you understand, Wahiga, we also met with one of the lady who was shot, and she was working in just a nearby M-Pesa, and now she will be forced to live with the bullet lodged in her leg, and she will not, maybe, as she was talking to us yesterday, according to doctor's advice, that she might, if the bullet will be removed, then she will be paralyzed, that part of the leg. But on government side, they are saying they will continue with this operation until they ensure they have cleaned Eldoret town to be a city. Maura.
Well, thank you so much, John Wanyama, for that update. Very worrying situation there, and we'll come back to you a bit later on to get an update regarding your conversation with the Deputy Governor of Uasin Gishu County. Let's now switch gears now. We'll be crossing over to Nyeri County shortly. Of course, today one of our big talking points is about the behavior of members of County Assembly. You saw some of these images in Murang'a County. This being the third time an incident has happened since they were sworn in the battle for House leadership. We've seen other pictures from Nairobi County where 15 MCAs were ejected from an aeroplane at the airport, while in Kericho, MCAs also fought over an airstrip upgrade project. But it's not happening everywhere. There are certain counties where MCAs have found ways to carry out or conduct their business in an honorable manner, and that's the name, honorable, so to speak. Let's get an update from one county where we haven't had too much ever since they were sworn in, Nyeri County, where Martin Munene is on standby. Martin, we want to get the thoughts of how members of County Assembly in Nyeri have been conducting their business, but also their thoughts on what's been happening in Nairobi, in Murang'a, which is not too far from Nyeri, and Kericho, just to name a few.
A very good morning to Wahiga, Maura. A sunny morning in Nyeri County, and like you're saying, we are looking at what has been going on across the country in line with the MCA's behavior. And I must say that in Nyeri County, we've not had incidents in this particular assembly, but at the previous assembly, where there were actually issues, such issues of MCAs actually being engaged in fist fights. And I remember in one incident, actually, members of the county assembly were assaulted by members of the public due to leadership wrangles of fights between the county assembly and the office of the executive. But so far we've not seen any wrangles in this particular region. But we seek to understand what is going on, and with me is one of the members of the county assembly of Nyeri, representing Chinga Ward, who is going to be giving us an insight into what is going on from the perspective of a member of a county assembly across the country. Welcome, sir. Okay, a very good morning to you, and a very quick question. What is going on with the members of the county assembly across the country? Why are we seeing all these fights and chaos actually being orchestrated by members of the county assembly?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you. I think what has been happening is just that people are trying to get the balance, maybe, and in so doing, they are somehow overstepping their mandate. Because like what we saw our colleagues doing, they were going to a school and trying to eject a principal. That was very, very wrong. So I think people are just trying to get their balance, but they are doing it wrongly in some instances.
All right. There have been concerns. Some people have actually said that maybe the public elected crooks into office of members of the county assembly, and others are saying that there is need for a review of the law to actually have MCAs have degrees before, vying for office.
But a degree will not stop a person who is bellicose from going ahead and fighting. What we need to do, or what we can say, for one, we cannot say that the public elected the wrong people, because people elected certain visions as espoused by members of the county assembly, and not only members of the county assembly, all leaders across the board. People are elected because of the vision they were espousing they would want to do for the people. So, you know, it's very sad that we have degenerated to this. All I can say is that I pray that the way we have gone here, I can only pray people are respecting one another very much in Nyeri, and that is where it starts. Respect for one another. Because you see in politics, or in leadership, let me call it political leadership, you cannot always have the same opinion. People will differ, but you can do so respectfully without resorting to fist fights.
Okay, in your opinion, do you think that maybe as members of the county assembly, there should be a system that actually disciplines members of the county assembly that actually do not toe the line, I mean, collectively as members of the county assemblies across the country?
No, but you see, members of the county assembly, they are not exempt from the laws of the country. So, I don't think then it would be very right to come and target the members of the county assembly and say these are the worst performers in the country. No, what should happen is that everyone, members of the county assembly included, we play under a certain set of laws governing our country. So everyone is equal before the law. That is where everyone should be judged from that perspective.
So are you saying that you're of the opinion that every single member of the county assembly should actually bear his own cross? Should they be found in conflict with the law?
Of course, of course. If I come here and I punched you for no good reason, I should not be dealt with as a member of county assembly. I should be dealt with according to what the law says. Yes.
Okay, and maybe before I let you go, Mheshimiwa, do you feel as a member of the county assembly embarrassed by what actually other members of the county assemblies are doing? You bear the title Mheshimiwa Honorable Member. Do you think that the character is in line with that, and do you feel as embarrassed by their character?
You see, one thing we need to agree is that these people are not doing this on behalf of as members of the county assembly. These people are doing these things as individuals. Because, you see, for example, in my own ward, I was very, very much against the transfer of one of the principals. But there is no way I could have gone to the school or mobilized members of the public at all, come, let's block the new principal from coming. So, these are individuals doing these things, as bad as they are. It's only unfortunate that they happen to be members of county assembly, but they are not doing it on behalf of the other members of county assembly. So, from where I start, I have nothing to be ashamed about. The law should be applied equally, and it should not be said that they are doing that because they are members of county assembly. No, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
That was the Chinga member of the county assembly saying that members of the county assemblies across the country should actually take personal responsibility for any time they find themselves in conflict with the law. And she says that they are not doing it representing other members of the county assembly. But Wahiga, I must say that it is important to note that in this particular region, I think what has happened in Nyeri is that the previous county assembly actually saw the implication of fights and wrangles among them, because I can say that only one of the elected leaders then was re-elected back in this second term. And so therefore I think that from this particular region we may not see much fighting, because the members of the public have actually taken up the role of ensuring that MCAs who are actually not acting as honorable members are shown the door when the election time comes. Back to you in studio, Wahiga Maura.
Well, thank you so much, Martin, for that update. They definitely can teach their neighbors in other counties a couple of lessons about how to be honorable members. And on that note, let's revisit a story by Sylvia Chebet last night about the ugly brawl that ensued at the Murang'a County Assembly as the newly elected leader of majority got a tour of his office occupied by the man he's meant to replace. Also, this as a section of Nairobi MCAs were involved in a scuffle at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport after insisting that a colleague who was late for boarding be allowed onto the plane. Here is that report.
The Murang'a County Assembly is fast gaining notoriety for its uncivilized behavior. Barely 2 weeks ago, an election meeting for a new majority leader in the neighboring Kiambu County ended in a serious combat when another faction stormed the meeting. Today's was a continuation of sorts. The meeting that had ended in disarray apparently managed to elect a new majority leader whose presence they now want communicated.
Our main objective was to bring that letter to the Speaker so that within 40 days he can call for a special sitting, because our assembly is not on recess, it's on adjournment.
The entourage filed into the Deputy Speaker's office, flanking the new choice.
To me, I just tell you that you can proceed, because I've received you. Welcome with your leadership, the new leadership in the assembly. That we are going to work together, because this matter is not on me, it's a matter which is for the party, and because the party has made the decision that to change the leadership. We have succeeded because already the Speaker has the letter. We came here to deliver the letter. What he was doing was just showing us the office of the majority leader.
That is where they rubbed salt in the wound. The sitting majority leader and his faction were irked by the actions and repulsed the new entrant.
There are people with criminal records up.
The tussle over House leadership in Murang'a is dividing the entire county leadership, with the sitting majority leader said to enjoy the support of the Speaker and the government. The supposed new choice, Amos Murigi, has the weight of the Deputy Speaker and some MCAs behind him. He was, however, reportedly arrested by the flying squad this afternoon, while warrants of arrest for 6 MCAs supporting him were issued. Meanwhile, 15 members of Nairobi County Assembly caused a scuffle at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport last evening as they attempted to force a Fly 540 airline crew into admitting one of their late colleagues on board. The entire group disembarked in protest.
At first, the flight was delayed, and when it was delayed due to engine failure, we were told that one of the engine has failed. So, in the process, one of us, Mheshimiwa Millicent, who actually delayed a little bit, so we requested them to actually allow her to get to the flight, but they refused, and that's the time now they started insulting us.
Due to my condition that I have a metal in my leg and a metal in my hand, it really delays me in terms of trying to get to a place, and I was trying to explain to the lady, who turned out to be very verbal and arrogant, and in the situation that I saw, I was kind of running a bit weak. I tried to call my male members to come and intervene, but when she saw them, she turned out to be more arrogant than I thought. We tried to introduce ourselves and tell her that we are Waheshimiwas, and we are going for a very important meeting that will help the youth, the women, the orphans, but she really didn't want to listen to us.
The group ended up missing the flight and threatened to take legal action against the airline. Sylvia Chebet, Citizen TV.
And it's not just Nairobi and Murang'a where we have seen such incidents. We want to show you some statistics of what's been happening in 2018 and a bit of 2017. So we know yesterday Murang'a MCA is arrested after a fist fight over majority party leadership on the 16th of January. We take you back one day to 15th of January where Nairobi MCA is briefly arrested after a quarrel with Fly 540 crew. And on that same day in Kericho, and that's what's coming up next, that should be coming up, Kericho MCAs caused chaos in their assembly to protest an airstrip project. One wonders if there's no other way to bring about a resolution rather than causing chaos. We also know on the 12th of January, Makueni MCA is arrested after blocking a new high school principal in Kibwezi from accessing the institution's compound. Some of them were arrested. After that, Taita Taveta MCAs fought as county adopted the People's Assembly motion, while back in 2017 November, Mandera MCAs fought over the tabling of a report in the county assembly. Joining me in studio to briefly talk about what is now becoming a major discussion in Kenya and also a key point of humor. MCAs behaving badly, so to speak, is Dr. Conrad Bosire. He's an advisor on devolution with the Katiba Institute. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here with us. Should Kenyans be surprised by the behavior we are seeing with this second term of MCAs, if the first 5 years was anything to go by?
Actually, the story goes long before the MCAs. I hope we do not forget the election of mayors and the chairmen of councils in the pre-2010 era. And basically, from the reports that you've shown here, I think you can place them in two main categories. First, after electing councillors in the past, and then now we have MCAs, there are positions to be filled in the county assembly. We start with the speaker. The MCAs have to elect a speaker on the first meeting in order to get county assembly business going. And I think I remember I saw reports that there were chaos in the Migori County Assembly also when they were electing speakers. And after speakers, that is usually the first point of travel. And then now we have house committees. And as we know that these house committees, they preside over oversight of the executive, there's budget oversight, and committees are usually given tasks and all that. So I think the responsibilities which are carried out by these county assembly committees come with the tassels, and also depending on the political makeup of the county assembly, how the parties are represented, or even when you have a homogeneous county assembly like Mombasa, you still have members who have certain interests.
Or Muranga, for example.
Yes. You'll find that they are not as divided maybe on party basis, like for instance the county assembly in Nairobi.
So, and in fact, on that note, what factors do you think would lead to MCAs expressing themselves in this manner? Because let's look at the National Assembly. Competition there for positions is equally as high. Senate, same thing. But they still find a way most of the time to conduct their business in an honorable manner. Discussions are held outside, so that by the time they come to vote, everybody knows what's going on, etc. What differentiates MCAs from some of these other leadership positions? Is it their age? Is it their education level that would lead them to want to act out in such a manner, unafraid of the cameras and the media that's around them at that moment?
Oh, it's
in your view, a tough question, I'm sure.
Yes, it is, but we have seen Parliament behave even in a worse manner, and I remember 2014 December, during the security laws amendment, when they poured water on the speaker and all that. So when push
comes to shove,
yes, even the members of Parliament can also do this. What I think is the problem is this. You find that behind the interest and the pursuit of certain positions in the county assembly are interests of members. Maybe you'll find that they want to push for certain contracts as members of certain sectoral committees in the county assembly, and therefore there is a heavy agenda behind one wanting to occupy that position, and therefore you use all means possible to reach there, because there is...
You've watched that report by Sylvia Chebet. Yes. The Muranga governor stated that some of the MCAs have criminal records. That's worrying. If it is public knowledge, if a man at that level of leadership can say some of them are criminals, that means it's public knowledge. Some of them might have cases. How did they pass through the vetting process last year? Where was IBC? Where was EACC when these people got their nominations, when they went through till the very end and got voted in?
You know, there is a good question that you've raised, and it's an old one in terms of... yeah, because I think, and this is, of course, Chapter 6 of the Constitution, one which you can say one of the dead chapters in the Constitution, is supposed to ensure that we elect persons of integrity, we elect persons of ethical and moral standing. But we have seen how the law was watered down in Parliament, and also there were court cases, especially if you remember the former chairman of the EACC, Mumo Matemu. There was a case that was taken to court by some civil society saying that he had integrity issues. These went through the court, in the High Court, and I think to the Court of Appeal. It was supposed to go to the Supreme Court, but the petitioners withdrew. And the result we had from there is that we do not have a very clear interpretation of what integrity in a person who is an appointive capacity or an elective capacity is. And I think at this point
sort of like in time, the spirit and the letter, being seen through till the very end.
Yes, yeah. So we have a situation where we are not very clear, or we do not have a very clear criteria. Of course, it's there in Chapter 6, but the implementation is lacking because of all sorts of controversies which came up right from 2013. You remember some civil society groups went to court to challenge the candidature of President Uhuru and the Deputy President on the basis that they had ICC cases pending and all that, and that case was dismissed from the courts. So
again, you feel there's a gray area in terms of how to interpret
right from that time,
yes,
to Mumo Matemu, to implementation generally, and not even for candidates, it's not effectively enforced as was envisaged.
Do you think it's not clear enough, or it's the enforcement? Do you feel it's completely clear what's supposed to happen? Should a leader have any question marks in their character or behavior, etc.?
If you look at Chapter 6 and how it's envisaged it should be implemented, there is a generally clear criteria. It's just for institutions such as the IBC, the EACC, and other institutions that maybe the political parties registrar or something like that, where we can come up with clear guidelines or criteria for vetting of as it stands now, everything goes.
I mean, well, it's true from what we are seeing, and these are some of the signs of that. Let's listen in, or better yet, talk to our correspondent in Kwale County, Nikki Gitonga. We haven't had too much in terms of incidents there as well, and so let's understand how they have been conducting themselves ever since they were sworn in, and also what their take is on some of the incidents we are seeing in other parts of the country. Nikki, good morning. What updates can you give us from Kwale?
Good morning, Wahiga. We are at Kombani Junction here in Matuga, Kwale County, where I have a few of the MCAs, two of them. They're going to tell us how they've been able to quell those crises in other counties where some MCAs have been involved in a fist fight. But in Kwale County so far, we have not heard of any such cases, despite in Kwale County we have MCAs. Majority of the MCAs are from the NASA coalition, and others are also from Jubilee, and even their governor is a Jubilee governor. With me here, I'm joined by the MCA, an MCA from Ungovernable, is going to tell us more. How have they been able to quell such crisis in the County Assembly of Kwale? Mheshimiwa, pengine utueleze, tumeona kwamba katika mabunge mengine MCAs wamekuwa wakipigana na kuzozana hadharani. Pengine wewe una lipi la kusema?
Kwa kweli kabisa, kwa majina mimi naitwa Mwinyi Khalfan Masera, MCA wa ward. Hapa nilipo sasa ni ward yangu, lakini masuala ya kuvutana na kuzozana yako kila mahali. Lakini pale bunge kwetu, being in the majority coalition NASA, na wale wenzetu ambao ni kidogo, mara nyingi huwa ni issue based. Tuna argue issue based, ambazo zingine huwa zinazua hali isiyokuwa sitomfahamu, lakini haijafikia hiyo ya kuvutiana ngumi ama kuvutiana fimbo, kwa sababu na imani kwamba tuliochaguliwa pale sote tuna ile dini, alafu pia kuna ile udugu ule wa kijamii. Tuseme kabila si zile ambazo zinazozana sana. Unajua kuna mahali unaweza pata kwamba kabila ni mbili ambazo zinazozana. Sisi kama Wadigo na Waduruma hapo huwa hatuna shida hizo.
We know that our governor, the Excellency Salim Mvurya is a Jubilee governor, and you guys are from NASA. Majority of you are from NASA. How have you been able to have that close working relationship with him being a Jubilee governor?
Kwa kweli kabisa hatujakuwa na uwiano ama ukaribu na gavana. Gavana akiwa na vitu vyake wanatuma wale watu wa Jubilee, na mara nyingi vikija hivyo na wale watu wa Jubilee havipiti, kwa sababu hivi juzi tumepitisha bunge la wananchi na sana upande wa executive ulikuwa linapingwa, lakini watu wa NASA tukasema hapana, sisi tutapitisha. lakini gavana alikuwa upande wa Jubilee kwamba wapinge, lakini wale watu wake waliowatuma wakashindwa na ile kazi kwa sababu na sasa tuko wengi. Lakini nina imani kwamba kama gavana atataka kufanya kazi na MCAs wote, anao uwezo wa kutuita kwa sababu sisi sote ni viongozi, tumechaguliwa ili tuwafanyie wananchi kazi.
There have been several proposals for the MCAs to have degree. Do you support that?
Na support hiyo move kwamba MCAs wao na kiwango fulani cha masomo, kwa sababu majukumu ambayo tunafanya sasa hivi si sawa sawa majukumu ya kansela yule wa kitambo. Kitambo kansela alikuwa anaweza kuchukuliwa mtu yoyote kwa sababu ilikuwa ni vitu ndogo ndogo. Sasa hivi limekuwa kama bunge pale, tunapitisha miswada, tuna oversight miradi ya serikali, tuna legislate, tunatunga na sheria na zaidi. Sasa tukichagua tu mtu aende tu pale ovyo, ina maana kwamba serikali itaenda vile inavyotaka, kwa sababu hakuna mtu ambaye ana capability ya kwa oversight. Hakuna mtu anaweza question anything about the government. Kwa hiyo lazima tupeleke watu ambao kwa kiwango cha masomo wamejaribu ili waweze ku-argue issues effectively.
Okay, I have one last MCA. Madam, pengine utueleze, what's your take on the crisis? Okay, MCAs that have been fighting, have involved in a fist fight. What's your take on that? Tuanza kwa majina.
Kwa majina mimi ni Mheshimiwa Mwanauba Omar Mwawasa kutoka Kwale County. Mimi nawakilisha kina mama Kwale, na maoni yangu mimi kulingana na wale wanaozozana, nafikiri ni wao hawatumii akili. Kwa sababu ukishakuwa mtu mzima, umesoma, umepitia shule na mwalimu alikufunza, kwa hivyo sioni kuwa tatizo kama limetokea basi mupigane. Kama viongozi mkianza kupigana, mtoa show mbaya kwa community. Kwa hivyo sisi pale sio kuwa heti ya tuzozani, tunazozana, tunavutana. Watu wa Jubilee na watu wa NASA tunazozana pale ndani, lakini hakuna wakati tutapigana kwa sababu sote ni watu wazima, tuna akili zetu, wamesoma wengi wao. Kwa hivyo tunatatua kiutu uzima, kisomi, sio kupigana. Kupigana, mambo ya kupigana yamepitwa na wakati. Hivi sasa kama kuna issue yoyote, huwa tuakaa chini, twateta, ndio twagombana, kurushiana maneno, hiyo ni lazima, hiyo ipo, lakini hatuwezi kunjiana ngumi. Hayo ni mambo ya mpito na wakati. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa hivi kukiwa na lolote, huwa tuakaa chini na spika wetu na twajaribu kutatua ili tuweze kusaidia wananchi wetu wa Kwale. Hatukuchaguliwa kwenda kupigana bwana. Hayo mambo yanapitwa na wakati.
That's Mama Uba is an MCA in Kwale County. As you have heard from those two MCAs, actually, what the majorly as the MCAs in Kwale County are basically involved in dialogue than being involved in a fist fight. That's all we have from here in Kwale County. Back to you, Wahiga.
Thank you, Nikki, for that. Really glad you got Mama Uba to talk to us in this program today. She has hit the nail on the head. Some of these behaviors are for times past when there was no other way to handle crisis or conflicts like this one. And she says, you know, mature grown-ups should find other ways of handling this. And even as we were listening to that, Dr. Bosire, you also mentioned that Kenyans should not just be fixated on MCAs, but look at our leadership in totality. You don't see much of a difference in the way MPs have behaved in the past, and some of our other leaders as well. You can just talk a bit about that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think more especially when we're talking about all these ugly scenes of leaders engaging in physical fights and all that, I think this kind of character rests in elective positions. I don't know why. Maybe perhaps is the nature of our politics. We like leaders who are controversial, and because we have seen interesting characters even in parliament in the past. I hope you remember the late Kajuang and the late David Mwenje in the old parliament. And I think this, I don't know why. I think it's just because maybe we like electing leaders who are chaotic or something. But also, let's not dismiss it wholesale. I think there are, like you've shown, a number of MCAs who have said that they carry out their businesses cordially. So there's some positive stories. Differences. So I think, and actually if you do, maybe it's a tiny minority of the over 4,000 MCAs around the country who engage in physical fights.
So even as media we are to blame. We are highlighting 3 or 4 or 5 counties, but there are another 42, 41 that are behaving. And on that note, when you look at residents of Murang'a County, Nairobi County, Kericho County, where we've seen all these incidents, can their residents expect good legislation from such members?
I think the answer is obvious. If you engage in such kind of fights, and yet debate over legislation requires some level of decorum and some level of so unless I don't know, so it's very difficult to expect an MCA is ready to punch people to play a legitimate role of what is expected of an MCA. And actually the integrity provisions in the Constitution should ideally knock out such a person from such a process, because this is a process which is civilized, and people should engage, as we've heard from some of the MCAs, people should engage in a cordial manner. You may have differences, and then there's something called compromise, and then there is democratic, the principle of democracy, where you negotiate and you get a bit of what you want, I get a bit of what I want. If I am deposed as the House Majority Leader, then I should respect the party that put me in that position and let the ones... and if you feel that there was an illegality committed or an irregularity in the appointment of my successor, there's ways to address that.
Finally, the current law requires MCA candidates to have, I believe, at least Form 4 certificates. There has been a proposal that from 2022 they should have a higher certification, diplomas, degrees, etc. Do you think that will fix some of the incidents that we are seeing here? Because we've also seen in the past certain leaders, the Attorney General, the former Commissioner for the Implementation of the Constitution, Charles Nyachai, among others, concerned about the low quality of legislation in the previous county assembly that did the first 5-year term. What's your thoughts on that? Education and its link with good legislation, but also good manners in how people conduct themselves.
Okay, thank you. I think there's two main issues to that question. First, the quality of legislation. If you look at even some of the laws which come out of the National Assembly,
even the National
Parliament, yes. And sometimes the quality of legislation does not necessarily reflect on the academic qualifications of the legislators at the county or the Parliament. So in order to have good legislation, you need a good technical team in Parliament that does the legislative drafting and reduces the parliamentary debates around legislation into a coherent and well-drafted legislation. So I think the first point is that both the county assemblies and the Parliament should have good legal teams and policy teams that can reduce and develop sound legislation. That is the first point. On the issue of qualifications, I think
briefly,
very, very briefly, is that the parliamentary and the county assembly proceedings are carried out in English and Swahili, so it's important that one has a good command of both languages in order to participate effectively. But then there's also a dilemma that if you increase the qualifications and you see the county assemblies and even Parliament are supposed to represent people. Because I've done research around the country, and you find MCAs who are not formally educated, but they are very good at representing their ward, very experienced. They came from the era of councillors, and they are good at consultation with the people. They are good at airing the views, whether in Swahili. So I think there has to be a balance which is maintained, but then very important is that let's have in-house capacity for county assemblies, technical teams to assist in the development of laws and policies.
I think you raised a very important point. Dr. Conrad Bosire, an advisor on devolution matters with the Katiba Institute. Thank you for finding time to come and talk to us about these dishonorable matters. And thank you for watching. 2243 is our SMS line. I'll try and read a couple of your SMSs on the other side of this break. You're watching Citizen Extra. When we return, we'll be telling you what else is happening around the country. We also have that interview with ICT CS Joe Musheru. He'll come and talk about the state of the ICT sector, the big hits and misses over the last 5 years. You don't want to miss that interview and much more on Citizen Extra. We'll be right back.